Okay, hi Rebecca. Please
Hello.
introduce yourself to us and how long have you been in the real estate game?
Oh, I hate to answer this question. It's been about a year, but I was in financial sales for about 10 years and worked in call centers in my 20s. So,
Hmm.
you know,
And
more
where
of
are
the
you
same.
currently located? What's your current market?
Sarasota, Bradenton, Florida, um, all the way down to Venice and up to St. Pete, but primarily Sarasota.
Oh, amazing. And what did you do before joining Samwhere that allowed you to obtain clients and leads?
I tried the traditional Zillow. I tried Realtor.com. I did some very expensive coaching formats, which I won't mention names. Um, Basically, my technique was to throw some money at getting leads, but I think what I did that might be different is that I've never been happy with where I'm at, so I always try as hard as I can to explore other options all the time.
Hmm.
So eventually, these are not working, and I have to use my gifts to get leads, and that's what I've been doing.
Hmm. And what would you say was the main downside for you of the entire process before coming to Samway? Like what was the straw that broke
Oh,
the camel's back that made
that's
you come
easy.
here?
My main downfall was I don't want to say follow through because I am good once I establish a relationship with follow through. But the big thing was I felt like I was just all over the place. I had a CRM, I had my brokerage website, I had the Zillow leads, I had Follow Up Boss, um, and I would go in fits and spurts of trying
Mhm.
to be systematic with my people, but just nothing that really kind of encompassed the whole program in
Mhm.
a way that was financially feasible, of course.
Okay.
I was all over the place.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I get that. And so how long have you been with us? What has your experience been like so far? And what would you say is your highlight so far?
Other than you, Noah, um, I have been to 3 works, so I'd say 3.5 weeks, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And your highlight besides me.
My highlight is I don't really know how new or how old your company is, but the ability to have interactions with you guys on a human level. Everything is in place that you could ever possibly need to succeed. But with someone who is really kind of looking within to figure out what do I need to make it better, you guys have been brilliant at hearing a question and either saying, duh, the answer is already in the system, it's here on page 4, or saying, okay, I see kind of what you're talking about. And you'll actually help kind of come up with tweaks. There aren't that many that are needed, but everyone works differently.
Mhm.
And I think that's for me the highlight. It's a robust platform, but the people are that of a tiny company is how it feels.
Mhm. And so far in our system, you've seen about what, one or two listings in the 3
Um,
with us?
I just got my first 2 listings with you guys. One is a lot, and then one is a home in Port Charlotte. And then I have 2 appointments scheduled for later this week for listing appointments. As far as buyer leads, haven't converted any yet. It's been only 3 weeks, but I could say without hesitation, 10 to 15 um, active buyers that may or may not work with me one on one. I haven't done any showings yet, but active communication with buyers.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, in terms of the follow-up process, what have you seen has worked best for you?
Filling in the gaps for the most part. I think with any lead generation or communication program, there still has to be an intuitive knowledge of how to identify opportunities that aren't pre-programmed opportunities like here's your lead, here's what they want to send. So you have to have that skill set, and that can be taught, but it fills in the gaps in the other ways where it just top of mind. triggers, and it keeps me every day focused on going to work because there's notifications, there's activity happening. And it used to be you'd get up in the morning and you have your list of people to call or your websites to scour, and the motivation is sometimes it has to be so intrinsically there that sometimes it's just tiring. But when you have that little Sam guy who you get up and he sent you like all these messages from people, whether or not they're don't ever call me again or yes, I'm interested, it gets you going each day. And you can work it as much as you want or as little as you want, but there's always that energy that you don't have without a system like this.
And so you've been with us, I know, for a short amount of time, but what would you actually recommend to agents in our system to see success?
Don't ever say it won't work. Don't ever say that never works or that's never worked in the past. Because I think no matter what it is that you're doing in your day-to-day life, if it can work, but it's not working for you, there's a reason. And what I like about this company is that they try to help you think through why it's not working. And even outside of the support from Sam, I think that anyone who signs up has to understand that it's a tool and it does all these things that I mentioned, but unless you get out of that trap of this isn't going to work for me, it won't. And I think that's really important to know.
Absolutely. Many people generally are afraid of change, right? So what were you unsure about in terms of if you were ever unsure about signing on with us? And what actually made you pull the trigger?
What made me pull the trigger? Well, I'm a penny pincher, so it's not an expensive program, but it's still money. So what made me pull the trigger? Well, I don't want to say it was all Sam. He was the original person that contacted me. It was the price point was fair and reasonable, and B, I knew that I needed something to keep me active. And the way it was presented to me wasn't so much as we're going to send you all these leads and get you money. It was, we're going to keep you busy. We're going to keep the wheels spinning. And, there are tons of things I could throw money at for leads. But that really wasn't what I was looking for, because I could have leads come in and I'll say to myself, okay, I'll call them tomorrow. And I wouldn't. This is like, it just keeps you moving. And I think that's really what pulled the trigger for me, is that it's customer management, but it's also that kick in the butt that someone like me needs every day. So call it a real estate life coach and a computer platform or lead generator or CRM, whatever you want to call it. It's a very active interface and it keeps me going.
Brilliant. Okay, last question. What would you say to other agents who are on the fence about joining Samwhere Online?
I would say that I can understand that it would be hard to make the decision to join Samwhere Online if you have not really struggled looking for an all-encompassing program. If you're not someone who's really been seeking solutions, you may look at it as, yeah, I can use HubSpot for free, whatever. But if you're in the point where you've actually really been struggling trying to find a system that works for you in multiple ways, what was the question?
No problem. What would you say to agents who are on the fence about joining?
Okay, if you're on the fence, then write down in a quick sheet on your desk of bullet points of the things that you want to have your dream real estate platform, and write them all down. And that's what Samwhere has. That's what I would say. You can piecemeal to death, but this is going to eliminate all the piecemealing, eliminating being overcharged for services that are actually buried in another platform somewhere. It's upfront, it's honest, it is what it is. That's what I would say.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today, Rebecca.
Very welcome. It's been a pleasure. Now I can figure out how to turn this thing off. We're good to go. Goodbye, Noah.
Goodbye.